Hello everyone, I am Sandhya Halanke, faculty Shri Jain Vidya Prasarak Mandals, RM Dhariwal College of Pharmacy, Pune. Here I welcome you in the second part of pharmaceutical emulsions, part 2. After watching this video, you will be able to list instabilities in emulsions and you will be able to explain reasons for instabilities in the emulsions. So let us discuss what exactly the stability of emulsion related to. So the stability of emulsions, it is mainly of three different types: the creaming or sedimentation, cracking due to coalescence, and the phase inversions. So let us discuss one by one all the three physical instabilities of emulsions. The first one is, now here just look over this stability of emulsions. It may be the middle central point of this is the stable emulsion. So if the stable emulsion because of some reasons is going to be altered, what it will result in? Either it will result in breaking or it is result in coalescence, nothing but co-joining of the globules or droplets, or it will result in flocculation, nothing but agglomeration of the particles together, and it may result in creaming of an emulsion. That means there will be separation of the two layers of an emulsion. So these are some parameters that will affect or that will indirectly affect the stability of emulsions. So let us start with creaming of emulsion. What is exactly creaming is? Creaming is the upward movement of dispersed droplets of emulsion relative to the continuous phase. It is nothing but the upward movement of dispersed phase globules on the top of the emulsion or at the bottom of the emulsion in relation to the continuous phase. So when large globules or aggregate of globules rises to the top of an emulsion or fall down to the bottom of emulsion, it will form a concentrated thick layer and it will lead to creaming of emulsion. This creaming is a temporary phase, means upon just shaking the container or shaking the emulsion, it can be reversible. It can be converted to the stable emulsion. Dispersed phase can be mixed with the continuous phase. So creaming should be avoided because it may lead to cracking of emulsion. So can you imagine about whatever the example I have given in the first video? Milk. So can it be an example of creaming? We are observing in regular day-to-day life that when we are boiling milk and settle it aside for sufficient period of time, there will be formation of a cream on the surface of the milk. But when again we are going to heat it, that cream may get mixed with the milk. So it is a temporary phase. But if we will not heat or if we will not maintain the same storage condition of emulsion that milk properly, it may result to cracking. That means that milk may get destroyed, it may get waste out just because of separation of the phases. That's why it is essential to boil the milk either twice or thrice in a day. Why? Because it will affect the stability, otherwise it will get wasted, it will get break down into two layers. So that exactly is nothing but creaming of emulsion. Now as this creaming of emulsion is related to the velocity or we can say settling of the particles, we have to learn about one equation. We'll discuss it later on. So here creaming, it results in lack of uniformity of drug distribution and this leads to variable dosage. So because of uneven distribution of the globules into the dispersion medium, there are chances that the uniformity of drug is not there, it is not distributed in the dispersion phase and it may lead to ununiform dose. Therefore, the emulsion should be shaken thoroughly before use. Every time, don't forget to mention the direction, check well before use on the label of emulsion, just to avoid this variability in the dose. So, creaming is of two types, the upward creaming and downward creaming. Upward creaming is due to the dispersed phase is less dense than the continuous phase, and that's why it will float on the surface of continuous phase. Normally this is observed in O by W type of emulsion because oil is less dense than that of water, so obviously it will float on the surface of water, and that is called as upward creaming. Whereas in case of downward creaming, it occurs if the dispersed phase is heavier than the continuous phase, and because of gravitational pull the globules will settle down, and this is normally observed in W by O type of emulsion. As we know that water is the dense type of liquid than any other liquids, that's why water, when the density of water will be more in the oil, it will be settle at the bottom, and that's why it results in downward type of creaming. So whatever equation I was discussing about is Stokes law, which is related to velocity of the particles. So here when there is sedimentation is discussed, so this Stokes law is important. It states that V, nothing but the rate of creaming, is equal to 2r square d1 minus d2 upon 9 neta. So this V is nothing but rate of creaming, R is nothing but radius of globules of the dispersed phase, d1 and d2 the difference between the density of dispersed phase and the continuous phase, neta is nothing but viscosity of dispersion media, and G is nothing but the gravitational constant. So from this equation we can say that there are number of factors which affect the rate of creaming. So the first factor, that is nothing but the radius of globule, second is nothing but difference in densities of dispersed phase and continuous phase, and third one is nothing but the viscosity. We can see here that there is a direct proportion of rate of creaming with that of radius of globules and difference in the density of the dispersed phase and continuous phase. The rate of creaming can get increased by increasing the globule size. The small globules will rise less quickly than larger globules, hence creaming can be reduced by reducing the size of globules by passing the emulsion through a homogenizer. The second factor is difference. Greater the difference, more will be the creaming. That's why the difference can be reduced, but it is not desired because it is not required therapeutically. Then the third factor is viscosity. So here viscosity is inversely proportional to rate of creaming. If viscosity of the dispersion medium is increased, the rate of creaming will decrease. That's why the emulsion should be stored in cool place, because rise in temperature reduces the viscosity and that may lead to creaming. As well as freezing should be avoided because it may lead to cracking of emulsion. So how we can control or reduce this creaming? Just by reducing the particle size by homogenization, or by increasing the viscosity of external phase by adding the thickening agent like methyl cellulose, tragacant or sodium alginate, or we can reduce the difference in the densities between the dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So this is about creaming of emulsions. Next one is cracking of emulsion. Cracking means what? Breakdown. So cracking means the separation of two layers of emulsion, that is dispersed and continuous phase, because of coalescence of dispersed phase globules which are difficult to redisperse by shaking. So here cracking leads to separation of the dispersed phase as well as continuous phase, and it is just because of coalescence. Coalescence means the smaller globules will join with that of larger globules, and those globules will have a strong bond that cannot be easily breakable even after shaking, as like in creaming. In case of creaming, just by shaking the container, the two phases can be mixed thoroughly, but in case of cracking, there is difficulty for by redispersing with shaking of the container. In diagram you can see here how the phase or two different phases are going to be separated out. The oil is separated from that of the aqueous phase. Now there are number of factors which result in cracking of emulsion. Addition of a solvent which dissolves both in the aqueous phase as well as oily phase. So whenever addition of common solvent in which both disperse phase and continuous phase are going to be soluble, that will lead to formation of a one phase system and it will destroy the emulsion. For example, when turpentine, soft soap and water are combined together, and in that if we will add alcohol, it will result in formation of a clear mixture. The second one is high temperature and change in the pH. So when we will going to increase the temperature, it will leads to reduction in the viscosity and it will enhance creaming, thus it will leads to cracking. That's why low temperature, it also causes freezing of water content. So we have to maintain the temperature for getting the stable emulsion. We have to store the emulsion properly so that it will not result in either creaming or cracking of emulsion. Next one is addition of emulsifying agent of opposite type. So when the soaps of monovalent metal produces O by W emulsion and soaps of divalent metal produces W by O type of emulsion. We have discussed this in differences. So if we will do opposite, that is addition of monovalent soap to divalent soap emulsion and vice versa, obviously it may leads to cracking of the emulsion. Next one is growth of microorganism. So when if we will not store the emulsion properly, it may leads to growth of microorganism in the preparation, and so as to avoid that, preservative should be present, otherwise bacteria may destroy emulsifying agent and it may leads to cracking of emulsion. Then the extensive creaming, as in the previous point creaming, we have discussed that if the rate of creaming cannot be controlled, it may leads to cracking of emulsion, that is phase separation. We have discussed the example of milk. I think you will not forget that example. And the last one is decomposition of emulsifying agent. So in classification of emulsifying agent, in the first part of this video, we have discussed that emulsifying agent can be obtained from natural sources also. So whenever the things are obtained from natural sources, there are chances of decomposition. Or when acids are added to alkali type of soap emulsion, it may leads to decomposition of emulsifying agent, and this decomposition may further leads to cracking of emulsion. This question is very important. Exam point of view, it is always asked in board exam for not less than 3 marks. So along with listing the factors for cracking of emulsion, you have to explain it with quoting the examples also. And the last stability of emulsion factor is phase inversion of emulsion. So phase inversion, it is nothing but change in the type of emulsion, that is O by W type of emulsion is getting converted to W by O or vice versa. Now there are again different reasons for phase inversion. First one, addition of electrolyte, then changing the phase volume ratio, temperature change and changing the emulsifying agent. These factors are somewhat similar to cracking of emulsion. We have already discussed this. So you might get understand how it leads to phase inversion. Now how we can prevent this phase inversion? So by keeping the concentration of dispersed phase between 30 to 60%, we can minimize phase inversion, because if the concentration will be equal, it may leads to formation of a single phase, or it may that O by W type of emulsion may get easily converted to the W by 1. That's why the dispersed phase concentration should be in the range of 30 to 60%. Then storing the emulsion in cool place as temperature, we have discussed the best example of this, that is milk. So if we will not store the emulsion properly because of temperature variation, that means either high temperature or cold temperature, it may result in cracking, and cracking indirectly it will result in change of the phase. And the last one is by using a proper emulsifying agent in adequate concentration, we can control the phase inversion, we can prevent the phase inversion. So this is all about instabilities of emulsions. Again, considering your board exams, these stabilities of emulsion is important point. So just explain it nicely along with listing the reasons of instability of emulsion. So thank you very much for watching this video.